It's showtime.
Okay, this is my third take just for this video. I'm really pissed off right now. So, first take, I used this camera. And now, after the second time now, it just doesn't work, okay? It's just non-functional. Like, it just doesn't transfer the stuff. It does record, but it just doesn't transfer all this stuff, and I'm just pissed off, so I'm gonna buy a new camera and a more professional camera and get rid of this, because I just got this a couple months ago and it just fucked up on me. Anyway, what's up guys? Django Fett here, hunting down games, comics, TV shows, movies, and more, and Logan is the newest X-Men movie, or just a solo movie starring Patrick Stewart as Professor Xavier, X-23, who I don't remember the actress's name, and Logan, played by the legendary Hugh Jackman. So if you guys know me, Wolverine is a very special character in my place. He's instantly one of my favorite superhero characters of all time, and he's not your regular, ordinary superhero like comes to save the day. He's a very complex superhero, very complex character, and he's a very damaged character, and he's experienced a shit ton of stuff. And a lot of stuff that's been happening to him, just his friends and stuff, like, they just all come colliding against him. As much good as he has, there's a lot of bad that happens in his life. If you've watched my Wolverine Origins review, you'll know how much I love the character as a whole. And you'll see the Funko Pops right over there. And the action figure, watch my movie. So you'll know I love the character of Wolverine. With that being said, let's talk about this movie. So it's directed by Scott Mangold, who directed the last Wolverine movie called The Wolverine, set in Japan. Overall, I thought it was a mediocre film. Could have been better. And it was just definitely seemed like it was hindered because it wasn't rated R. I know there was an unrated version and it definitely added a lot. But as a whole, it just didn't do too much to the movie. And it was just ended up being mediocre. The other movie, on the other hand, let's not talk about that. I'll take The Wolverine any day over that. But this one is a completely different movie set in an alternate timeline in which hardly any mutants out there, and the X-Men are all but dismantled. You don't know how that happens. You'll find out later, which is pretty fucking awesome when you find out. Professor Xavier and Wolverine are pretty much the only mutants from that team that are left. Both are just old and bitter characters and have experienced so much in their life that their bodies have just degraded on them, as well as their minds. You can see that with Professor Xavier more often than not. And this is a first in the X-Men series because this is rated R. I know Deadpool was rated R, and thankfully when Deadpool came out, it really revitalized the comic book series as a whole, being rated R with blood, violence, and all this other stuff, and having a low budget. And it ended up being very successful. Logan took that to the same effect with being more serious on the other hand, and it worked just as well. I mean, you can just see the opening box office numbers right now, and you'll see how successful this movie has become. Not only with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but being rated R, being unrestricted like it has been in ages past, and unleashing the character of Wolverine which we've all known and loved. And this is by far the best Wolverine we've ever seen. It took Fox freaking 17 years to get Wolverine right, and we finally got it. This just shows how much potential it could have with more future adaptations. But unfortunately, you know, Hugh Jackman is getting up there and he can't really do this shit anymore. I mean, he could, but this is just a good send-off to his character, and I don't know what they could do with more with his character, considering you know what happened. But I think this is a perfect send-off to him as a character, and with X-23 leading the way. Now, with it being rated R, you also have Professor Xavier as well as Wolverine just bantering and cursing at one another, and I love that. I mean, just unleashing them both, constantly angry and bitter at one another, and I just love that. That dynamic relationship is fantastic. And I love the fact that it's a mystery. You don't know how, in effect, the mutants got wiped away and all this other stuff. You find out a little bit later, but you have to figure out how the past happened. There's no stupid flashbacks. It just leaves you as the audience to figure it out, and I love that with a passion. And I love damaged characters like Wolverine with a lot. This movie just really works so well. Plus, they added X-23 in this movie, and she was really badass. She really surprised the hell out of me. She just kicked major ass with Wolverine. They both worked with each other so well, and the chemistry was fantastic. It was definitely a very The Road and Last of Us vibe, but to a certain extent. It worked so well in this movie, and they were both at odds, and then eventually they came together towards the end. They eventually bonded, and I just love seeing that stuff, man. Love seeing it. I just noticed how low I was, so all three of them have seen a lot. All three of those characters have seen a lot. So just going on this journey with all three of them on this like road to Canada was just, it was definitely an emotional ride. A very apocalyptic, melancholy vibe. It just kept you on the edge of the seat the whole time. I just really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. It really surprised me. I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was going to be a good movie, but not to this extent. And I really enjoyed the time I had watching this movie as a whole. Is it a perfect movie though? No, I don't think so. They could have went with more action, more stuff to the story, added maybe even Sabretooth to the mix, which unfortunately didn't because I don't know why. They went with something else instead, but it would have been a perfect chance to include Sabretooth, have him be in this movie. He is the arch enemy of Wolverine. He has just fucked up Wolverine's life time and time again. So it would have been perfect to include a great adaptation of Sabretooth, which we still haven't had, into this movie, and have them at least fight in the final battle. I think that would have been fantastic. And the final battle was alright. It could have been better. And they had these kids at the end were just kind of hokey, and wasn't a fan of that too much. Having Wolverine not be in the yellow suit just once was really disappointing. I expected it at least once, like just a minute, 5 minutes, you know, just a short time, I don't care. Just show Logan in this role just once, just be in the costume. Well, people are gonna say, oh, that's silly, that's not what the X-Men are. Well, that's what they are. They are all individual characters. They don't all represent just one costume and all these latex, whatever it is called, you know, the black suit costumes. I fucking hate that shit. It wouldn't have been silly either, because look at the Avengers, people. Look at the Avengers. Nobody said that shit was silly. So why can't Fox do it with the X-Men? Oh, they did it with the end of X-Men Apocalypse. That's not good enough, alright? Come on. 17 years, X-Men haven't had their own costumes in forever, and it's a damn shame. Wolverine deserves to be in his costume just once. I mean, can you imagine Hugh Jackman in this? That would be badass. I mean, come on. That was a bummer, man. It didn't ruin the movie, but it would have added a lot to the film. But I did enjoy my time with the film, so I'm giving Logan a... This movie is just phenomenal. It's definitely worth watching multiple times in theaters, and it's definitely a great send-off to Wolverine, and definitely had a great surprise in X-23, and paved the way for her to emerge as Wolverine, as the next Wolverine in the future. Or could be in the future. Who knows? I'm not really looking forward to what Fox is going to do in the future, because, I mean, this is the final bout with my favorite character, so I don't know what more they could do. Maybe Deadpool, but other than that, not really looking forward to the other stuff. I just love the subtle hints that this movie had with, you know, the movie is titled Logan, but his actual name, Wolverine's actual name, is James Howlett. And he actually, a couple times, he had his license out and it said James Howlett. It just leaves you wondering, did Wolverine find out his past? Did he actually know his true name? Oh, I think it was actually on his dog tag, I think. But it leaves you wondering, did he remember his past? Because if you remember his character, during the Weapon X project, his mind was wiped, so he didn't remember the past. And the past was when a lot of shit happened, and he just didn't remember. And he always craved to know that stuff, the past. So you wonder, did Logan ever find out the past? Did he ever use his name more often and, you know, remember his past and what to do with it? You just crave to see what he does with the knowledge of his past and what he does with it. And the fact that there's no hand-holding when it comes to the plot, it leaves you trying to figure out the pieces of the movie as a whole. So next up is Kong, which I will probably watch by the time I upload this. It's going to be super late when I upload this. Then I will post my Kong Skull Island very soon. Don't forget to please like this video, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Django Fett, and I'll see you, my fellow Mandalorian brothers and sisters, next time. Oh, yeah!